We live in an era of total visibility. If you want to cure a disease, start a nonprofit, or build a school, the blueprints are already public. You can walk into a bookstore and find 10 guides written by experts, or find 1,000 blogs documenting the step-by-step transformation of someone who has already done it. The resources and contacts required to change your health or your career are available right now. Yet, for most of us, this access does not translate into physical execution. We often assume we lack a specific strategy or a high enough IQ to begin. But you likely already know what is required to lose the weight, triple your income, or find a partner. The solution is rarely a mystery. Constant research serves as a stalling tactic. The barrier to entry is psychological rather than a lack of information. We protect this psychological barrier with a single word: fine. We use it to describe dragging around extra weight or living as roommates with a spouse. It is a defense mechanism rather than an expression of contentment. Declaring a stagnant situation fine neutralizes the brain's internal urgency. It allows us to ignore the dissatisfaction that should be driving us toward a fix. This behavior relies on a false assumption that we must feel inspired before we are capable of making a change. The biological reality is that you are never going to feel like doing the hard work. The feeling of wanting to do something difficult will not arrive on its own. Treating motivation as a prerequisite for action ensures that you will remain in a state of permanent delay. Your brain is a mechanical system evolved to prioritize survival and efficiency. It processes behavior through two primary channels. The first is autopilot, a low-energy state where established routines govern your actions, like driving to work with no memory of the turns. Abraham Maslow observed that while our bodies signal basic needs like hunger, the soul's requirement for growth is different. To achieve it, you have to deliberately interrupt this autopilot state. Any attempt to deviate from routine triggers the second system, the emergency brake. This is a security protocol designed to halt new or unfamiliar actions. The brain cannot distinguish between a physical threat and the impulse to start a creative project, because both are breaks from the routine. Both trigger the same neurological resistance. Your own wiring fights your ambitions to keep you in a safe, predictable state. Physicists define activation energy as the force required to move a system out of its resting state, appearing as a massive vertical spike. Mental intention alone is ineffective. Moving past it requires physical exertion. Starting a new business requires the same magnitude of activation energy as throwing off the covers in a cold room. Both require a physical push against a resting system. As children, our parents provided this external force. They made us do the things we didn't feel like doing. As an adult, you have to provide that force yourself. Overriding the emergency brake is a physical act. It requires moving the body before the mind has a chance to object. There's a microscopic lag time between an idea and the brain's impulse to kill it. You have a 5-second window before your mind categorizes a creative impulse as a threat. To short-circuit the brake, you must move physically before the countdown expires. Once the door shuts, the idea is lost. Physical movement generates the drive we spend so much time waiting for. Action creates momentum, not the other way around. We are the executioners of our own ideas. We kill them within seconds by failing to marry them to a physical action. This mechanical struggle happens against the backdrop of an improbable reality. When you account for the history of natural disasters and genetic mutation, the odds of you being born with your specific DNA are 1 in 400 trillion. Your life is a statistical rarity. Spending that rarity following an autopilot routine is a waste of the very specific DNA you carry. The impulses you feel each day are your unique potential attempting to break through that routine. They are the signals of that 1 in 400 trillion probability. Motivation is a mirage. You are a mathematical rarity, and waiting to feel ready squanders that probability. You have to force the movement.